Hello there, and first of all can I say a huge thank you to everybody who liked and shared and viewed and the whole gamut of social media support. It really meant a lot. And a lot of people suggested things they'd like to see me make, and I have them on the go as well. But of course this time of year, it is a nice day out there, but we need to talk about Christmas. Now Christmas is a great time. It's a fantastic pagan holiday as well, a Celtic holiday, because you know, these dark days, these dark dismal days, they can be quite desperate for people really. But again, on the 21st of December, the sun begins to get stronger again and hope fills our soul. We also have the Christian festival Christmas, which is all about loving and giving, and the story of the Nativity, which is really inspiring really. But the giving has taken over a little bit. You're off there spending time, spending money, trying to buy things for people you might not necessarily totally like or totally know and like what to buy for them. So that can be hard. And then you're also receiving gifts that you're not too sure what to do with either, and if you like them. So one good way of getting around this is to make your own presents. Now I don't know if you can see that, but you'll see it up close in a minute. This is a perfect way to start. It's a beautiful little Christmas wreath. You can put it on the tree, you can put it on your door, you can put it anywhere. And it's a great present that you can make a good few of and give them out to people. And I'll show you how to make that now. So here we go. We have the beautiful Christmas wreath, and I'll decorate it later with a few ribbons and stuff. But how it's made is from rice. So I put some in a bowl, and then I get a mixture of white vinegar. Now again, quantities are just so hard to figure out. There's no scientific way of doing it. So much rice, you don't want, if you're going to make a load of wreath, you use a load of rice, and so on and so forth. But into the vinegar, I'm placing a food colouring. And you can mix around all the different food colourings, blue, yellow, different types of green. Just throw it all in there. And I'm just using a pencil to swish it around. And you just pour it into the rice. And that should be enough. Once you cover the rice, and you can see already, you're going to get some really beautiful coloured rice. So this is going to be orange. And you leave that sit overnight, or until you can really see the colour coming up. And then what you do is you can make some orange, some red, some different types of green rice, and when it's dry you drain off the excess vinegar. Then you lay it out in a pan, not really on a gas ring or something like that, but you just leave it dry. You don't heat it, you just dry it off. I don't know if you can see that clearly, but there's lots of different colours. There's red and two different types of green, and the orange will actually make it nicer again. But then again, you can keep mixing and matching and adding and subtracting different colours, so every wreath is going to be different, and I'll just show you what to do there now. So now I'm going to make the base, and what I used here, the usual traditional wreath, I just used a glass for the outer circle and drew around it, and I actually had a toilet roll holder which was just that nice bit smaller to do the inside one. Again, there's no science needed here, you just kind of figure out where they look right. I also drew an S. You can always print it from the computer or something like that, or you might have cookie cutters. You know, you get a set for Christmas of snowmen, of Christmas trees. You can also use those kind of shapes. So now I have my two shapes cut out. And the best thing to do now is put on the hanger. So I just made a little loop here. I use green embroidery thread. But you could also use string or twine or wool or whatever you have really. It doesn't... Now this, for demonstration purposes, I'm just using kind of very hard paper. But ideally you'd want something stronger like card. If you'd gold or silver card, tá go maith. But this is a Knorr soup packet that I'm just going to paint later, green or red or something like that. So whatever it is, once it's nice and strong, work away. So I've some all-purpose glue here, Bostik kind of thing as we used to call it, or yoo-hoo. So I'm just going to glue on. So now the hanger on the piece of card is dry, and here comes the fun part. So I've already kind of collected a lot of different collections of coloured rice. There's more of a brighter kind of bubble cup one. I have a good lot of different kind of greens here. There's actually a blue one in there as well. It's kind of purpley, but it is quite nice because it kind of reflects foliage. And we have a very strong, do you remember the orange I made? And I made a pure yellow as well. You can make a strong red as well if you like. So you just get a glass. I'm using a clay moulding tool. You can use a lollipop stick, or you can use a knife, a butter knife. That's why I live my own. I can use all the kitchen stuff for art. So you get some rice now, you mix them. Don't mix a huge amount to start, because I'll show you now in a minute. You just need enough for one wreath at a time, really, just to be sure. Now that is all very kind of a greeny, so we'll put in a bit more bubble gum. That should be about enough. I'm going to mix that around. There we go. So there we have the rice. Then we have glue. Now a different kind of glue again. This is wood adhesive that I've bought in a hardware shop. It's called many different things. Polybond, PVA glue, anything like that. If you are working with children, it's probably a better idea to use craft glue, which is basically the same product, but just not as toxic. Now that's not saying that the PVA you buy in the hardware shop is poisonous. It's just, I'm sure if you drank a glass of it, it wouldn't be good. So you mix in, this glue is like milk, and everything goes a little bit white, but when it's dry, it'll be totally clear. And you just get, now the rice is kind of soaking up the glue, so you'll feel it kind of hardening, and you just get everything nicely coated. So you get your card, and you have your glue, and you just start putting it on in nice little chunks. Now again, it'll take a while to get used to it, but it basically all just sticks together. You can see the glue is like a milk. So you use the piece of card as a template, a guide. And again, can I just say, when you get into this, it's wonderful. Compared to fighting in shops and trying to figure out what to get people. And you see different friends, I can make the wreaths this year, and another friend could make several dozen of wreaths next year and give them out, and I could move on to something else. And it is a nice way, because it is really the act of giving, and to give your time and your handiwork really makes a big difference. Of course, I'm lucky now because I have my cutting mat, which is perfect for all kinds of artistic work. But if I was making a lot of them, I'd probably make them in on greaseproof paper or something like that, or a tray, because they will lift up when they're dry, but you don't want to be messing with about them when they're wet. But once you have the rough shape. And of course, the great thing about Christmas, the really one thing I absolutely get so excited about, is people don't mind having glitter everywhere. Usually when I start work, there's always glitter, and people are always giving out. So you just give it a good lashings around. Yeah, and leave that. Different coloured glitters as well. And of course, in that great historic cliche, here's one I made earlier. And I have a little bow, I have a little Christmas bow. Can you see that there? I just kind of sewed two pieces together, one horizontal and the other one vertical. And this one I just stuck some sequences on. And you can have lots of fun, maybe with tassels, maybe with feathers, anything like that. And you can really start building up a complete collection. Have 2 or 3 in your bag or in your car, and you meet somebody, you can just say, Happy Christmas. And in the next video coming up very soon, I'm going to show you how to make these lovely little felt angels. And they're so lovely and so simple and so fabulously gorgeous, you just won't believe it.